So today's the day I'm going to install my pantry. I've already removed the microwave from this cabinet, and removing this cabinet is the next piece of the puzzle. I have a couple of brackets on the lower side and one on the upper side. Always weird trying to point the things when you're using the camera to locate them. But that's the next piece of business, is to get that down so that I can make room and bring the cabinet in. So after a quick trip outside, it's nice and chilly out there again today. I got some tools ready to take that down. Now that that cabinet is down, I can easily move the rolling cart out of the way, and I can hopefully get the pantry in here and start making some progress on getting cleaning and organizing and making things look better. Alright, so I'm going to clean this up a bit and get ready for the pantry to actually come in, because right now that rolling cart is in the way and I can't get past it with the pantry. So it's going to take a little Tetris to get this work. Hiya girls. How you doing? You find it cold out? That rain's coming down. The camera's not too high. Oh, stop.
My shoe!
Get your shoe. You alright?
Hurts. Content brain. I'm being exploited for views.
Yes, something like that. Okay, try again. Good, or good enough. Alright, swing right. Alright, we're going to get there this time this year. Sometime this year. What are you going so slow for? I gotta swing wide. Alright, you go straight in. Alright. Alright, looking good. Alright, lay your end down. Not on your foot. You good?
Underfoot. My delicate gamer skin.
Turn. Right there.
This is humiliating.
No, it's not. level. So I gotta move the camera again. So, looks like I need to start pre-drilling holes for these shelf brackets. The screws are terrible. I've already rounded out a few of them, which means the drill doesn't get a grip on them anymore. So before I go down to the basement to get that, I brought up a hole saw and I'm going to put a hole in the side of the cabinet for power bar and plugs to go through. It's been a long day of fiddling with things, but I got it done, or at least it's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but it is done and it's workable. Top shelf got pots and cereal into it, got a microwave at a more convenient height, air fryer. This is going to get argued about because the bus pan and glass is mine, and I don't even want to keep it there. So that's going to be a shelf for juice and other things. And we got our old deep fryer down here on the bottom. But don't get me wrong, while the storage is better and more compact, one of the goals was over here. This is the entrance to my daughter's room, and I didn't like how we were crowding it out. Recycling hanging off the wall here was much more in the way every time she came out. I just didn't like it. So that part at least is an improvement because now I'm not turning sideways so much to get in there. I am for the camera, but I can actually get back and forth, and that recycling might find a new living place just yet. Not sure on that one because I'm not sure how else I can do it and have it in a convenient location. Now, still needs trim. Pieces here on the front are still raw, and down on the bottom here where I got the little space here between the new pantry and the old piece of cabinet, there's a very small space. It doesn't seem very useful for anything, but the goal is to try to make things better. So what can I do with that little space? If I put a little shelf into it, I could slide my sheet pans into there, hide away my pizza pans and those kind of things, and have them not down in another cupboard, which frees up some more space, especially seeing they're not fitting very well in that cupboard. So maybe that would improve things again. Now, my dehydrator is no longer living among all this stuff. I had to put it in a different location in the house. That's better and worse, but seeing I'm not making a great deal of use of it, it's just as well for it not to be in the kitchen. Now, kitchen is still a bit of a mess. I did make a bit more of a mess today in trying to get this done in a rush, but I've been procrastinating on this job and I want to get it done. I'm tired of thinking about it and talking about it. Even though the job is not 100% finished, it's finished enough to put it in place and to make use of it. I'll make improvements to it as I go along. I still want to paint it. So let's have a better look at what I've got done. So this is the little space I was talking about. It's 2.5, maybe 3 inches. It's just enough room to maybe store away some sheet pants. So if I put a little piece of block, get out of the way, cat. If I put a little piece down here, I'll automatically have a shelf, and that would do. So I have a couple of nice deep shelves there. This one is held on by those angle brackets. I'm not so happy with that, but it's in a position where it's not so easy to get at it to fix it any other way. Now, this shelf used to be my coffee table. If you look back at some of my old videos, you'll see it there somewhere. Now, this shelf is also mostly fixed with the brackets, especially on this side. But on this side, I used drywall screws instead of the screws that came with the brackets. That worked a lot better. And I got a couple of screws gone in through the outside. I was hoping to avoid that, but I didn't manage it quite right. Now, this was cut sensibly and square, but it's not so good here. I think it's because of the wall being out of square and plumb and everything, so I end up with 1/4 inch or so here sticking out. So that's a future need to get a multi-tool and cut it off at the proper angle to get that better. And the top shelf has something of a similar problem, but not as bad. Now, up on the top, I've already fixed a bit of molding so you don't see the gap between the cabinet and the ceiling. There's still a small gap there, but I plan on filling that with caulking. And the side has already been covered in shiplap siding or shiplap paneling here, and that covers up all the ugly press wood that's on the main part of the cabinet. Now this shelf needs some plastering, it needs some painting and cleaning, and this border up here is still not all gone, but it will be soon because I want to get molding up here and get some of this stuff finished off. The wall over here is still waiting for more coats of plaster and then paint and such, but things are looking better. You can see it's the ceiling, which is much better done at the moment than what it was. Haven't edited the video yet of putting up the ceiling, but I'm afraid that I didn't get as much construction on camera as what I was hoping. A lot of this went up fairly quickly, and I think the camera shut off on me. But until I review the footage, I'm not entirely sure. But this turned out pretty good. I should have staggered the joint here a lot better, but I really didn't want to cut the pieces that I had, and I figured that, as you can see in some spots, it's going to be noticeable that things aren't perfect anyway. So things like this joint up here will get covered over with caulking and angled. Make a little 45 of caulking and try to cover it over. And some of the little gaps, this one needs to be painted, that needs to be done a bit better for caulking and covering it up. But it's better than the drywall that was falling down. I have one coat of paint on it so far, but I will get another one onto it. And of course I got so far along with it, and I didn't get to getting up over the cupboards So that part needs to be done too. And when I do the next coat of paint, this side and the other side will get painted over. So now you can see from this angle coming into the kitchen all my dirty dishes, but also that this door is now much more viewable and accessible and not nearly hidden away as much. And I'm going to look at getting possibly a couple of garbage buckets to put on the side of the cabinet here, tall slim things for recycling. And hopefully that would improve things again so that, you know, things are not as crowded and ugly. So that's going to be the end of this video. I'm getting pretty tired now. A lot of running back and forth between upstairs and downstairs to try to get everything done and ready and try to get all of this stuff finished. I'm actually pretty amazed that my youngest daughter came out a couple of times and didn't get into too much trouble. Came to access the fridge and get an apple, one of her favorite things, and she only turned the lights off on me once. Some days you got to take the good with the bad. But that's going to be the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was, you know, somewhat informative or helpful in some way. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.